doing a lot of sitting and watching, especially when we're watching music videos. Why? It's a music video! Of course I can't keep up with these professional dancers. It's not my fault they all have abs. Like a lot of abs. But at least I'm moving. And you should too. It's good for you. And your heart. We're done. I'll finish too. I'm cool. You guys believe I'm not trained? We're all doing.
Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed that video and it got you excited for today's webinar. Welcome to our Mind and Body Wellness webinar. My name is Megan Guerra. I'm the Employer Group Project Manager at Desert Oasis Healthcare, and we're so excited to have you here today with us. We're thrilled to be teaming up with the American Heart Association to bring you today's webinar. And as many of you might know, they have been our partner for the past 3 years for the American Heart Association's Desert Communities Life is Why initiative. And part of this initiative, we are able to bring you information and awareness to our community that focuses on health and wellness. And on July 1st, we're so excited that we kicked off the Wellable Wellness Challenge, which encourages our DOHC FHC employees, employer groups, and our community at large to increase their physical activity and focus on their overall health and well-being. Now, we asked you at the beginning of today's webinar if you've signed up for our Wellable Wellness Challenge. So let's take a look at those polling results. Oh, okay, 94% said yes. That makes me so happy. But don't worry, there's still time to sign up if you guys haven't, and we'll go over how to do that in a few minutes. Today, or this week, actually marks our halfway point in the 10-week challenge. And I want to congratulate everyone who has stepped up and really increased their activity and done great things for both their mind and their body. We have over 300 people signed up, and together we've walked over 7,000 miles, and that's nearly 31 million steps. In addition to getting our bodies moving, we've completed 472 meditation sessions. And if you guys haven't done those yet, they're so relaxing and calming. That's one of my favorite parts about the challenge. So make sure you check that out and you get points for that as well. So for everyone who's made it to this halfway point, great job. Now, for those who haven't signed up yet, like I said, it's not too late, and we'll send out details after this meeting to everyone so that you can get signed up if you would still like to join. The great thing is not only are we competing for points, but everyone who participates has a chance to win a great prize. So let's go over those exciting prizes. The top 5 Wellable participants are going to be placed in a raffle to win a $1,000 Hilton gift card to the destination of your choice. I personally would love it. I'm not in the top 10, but I'm trying. The remaining 4 in those top 5 will all get their choice of a $200 Amazon or Visa gift card. The 6th through 10th place participants will receive a $50 Amazon or Visa gift card. And then everyone who participates in the challenge and earns at least 5,000 points will receive a $25 or chance of 5 $25 Amazon or Visa gift cards. So there's lots of great prizes for anyone, no matter how active you are, but just as long as you reach that 5,000 point threshold. Not too hard to do. And remember to listen closely today, because just for joining this webinar, you're going to receive 400 Wellable points. So we'll be giving out a code for that as well. And to top it off, Desert Oasis Healthcare is also giving away 3 $50 Amazon gift cards just for attending today's webinar. So 3 lucky winners will be selected at the end of this webinar, and then we'll be notified by email afterwards. So before we get started with our first speaker today, please remember this is a webinar, but we really want you to interact with us. We can't see or hear you. So if you'd like to use the chat box to send messages and interact with us, please do. And then also participate in the polls that we're going to be sending out. And please take the advice of that opening video and get up, stretch your legs, and get moving during the webinar as well. So our first speaker joins us from HARC, which stands for Health Assessment and Research for Communities. I would love to welcome Dr. Casey Lear. She's the Director of Research and Evaluation at HARC, and she's here to share some really great health data that comes from right here in our backyards in the Coachella Valley. So please welcome Dr. Lear.
Thank you, Megan. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be a part of this webinar on such an important topic. We wanted to kick off our discussion today by talking about some of the heart and health data that we have specific to the Coachella Valley. And the data I'll be talking about is really compelling. As you'll see, we have a high prevalence of health issues in our community, and there are also some health behaviors that we can improve. So I'll share some data, and the rest of the webinar will really focus on some practical ways to make improvements on these areas to really set us up for heart success. So I want to first talk about our survey a little bit. As Megan mentioned, I'm the Director of Research for HARC. We are a nonprofit that specializes in research and data to help improve organizations and communities. One of our key contributions to the community is the Coachella Valley Health Survey. And our survey is known by some, but not by all, so I will explain just a little bit. It's a survey that's conducted every 3 years. It's a population-based health survey, which means that it's a random digit dial phone survey of residents in our community. I like to think of it as a mini version of the census, except it's just for the Coachella Valley, and the topics are largely related to health and well-being. Today, I wanted to share a few data points from our 2019 survey that really enliven our understanding of heart health and health behaviors in the Coachella Valley that are really relevant to our discussion. So first, I want to start with a data point that is not HARC's, but it is one from public health. And it's an overarching finding that heart disease was the leading cause of death for the past 2 years in the Coachella Valley, for the state, and for the entire nation. So heart disease is not unique to our region. I was looking at some data this morning, and I read that for the first half of 2020, there were in the Coachella Valley, there were 3 times as many people who died of heart disease than died of COVID-19. So my point is not to minimize COVID-19. I know it's a very important issue. In some ways, it's very different because it's a transmittable disease. But the point is that heart disease is very deserving of attention. And if we targeted our efforts in a really meaningful way towards heart disease, we can make a really big impact, just like we have with COVID-19. We know that from HARC data, roughly 7% of local adults have been diagnosed with heart disease, and roughly 4% have experienced a heart attack. And so those percentages aren't huge, but if you look at the numbers of people who are affected, those numbers are quite large. So 23,000 people in our valley have had heart disease. 4% or 13,000 people have experienced a heart attack. So these are not small numbers. It's a sizable number of people who are experiencing these issues. We know there are a number of heart conditions that put you at a higher risk for heart disease. 3 of those conditions that I've listed here are diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Locally, we have 12% of local adults who have been diagnosed with diabetes. There are also 32% of adults who report high cholesterol and 36% who report high blood pressure. It's exceedingly important to monitor these health risks and keep them under control as much as you can so as not to put extra strain on your heart. So those predictors I talked about in the last slide, we have some control over, but oftentimes there's a genetic component that gives us a little bit less control than we'd like to have. But the 3 health behaviors I've listed here are things that we have a large amount of control over in our lives, and they are smoking, healthy eating, and exercise. And these aren't all the health behaviors that put you at risk, but these are a few really notable ones that HARC has some data for. So we know that 11% of local adults are active smokers. That's roughly 38,000 people. Smoking or being around cigarette smoke greatly increases your risk of heart disease. So it's really important to try and, take those cessation classes if you can. Just to note that 11% of smokers, it's not counting people who vape. And we know that there's growing evidence that the chemicals in vaping are linked to heart disease. So there are even more people who are at risk than that number shows. And then the second indicator there is healthy eating. We know that 15% of local adults go out to eat at least 7 times per week. And on average, that's about once a day. So we do know that you can go out to eat and eat healthy. I'm not saying that, if you go out to eat every day, you're completely unhealthy. It is possible to, make good choices, but it requires being mindful and really making those choices correctly. And then lastly, a lack of physical activity is a major risk factor for heart disease. The CDC recommends at least 150 minutes of exercise per week. So according to our data, a little less than 20% of local adults get 0 exercise per week. That's 20% not moving and really putting their heart at risk for heart disease and heart attack. So to just reiterate a few key takeaways, I mentioned heart disease is one of the main health issues locally and for our country. It's a prominent issue that needs to be addressed, and it's not declining. Fortunately, there are a lot of things that we can do to improve our heart health, and we'll cover a lot of those things in our webinar today. So as I mentioned, it's important to know the risk factors. It's important to monitor your health metrics such as cholesterol and your diabetes levels, A1C levels, and to also engage in healthy behaviors, moves, try and eat better. So I'd love if everyone could type in the chat box, what small change could you make in your life to improve your heart health? Type in any type of thing you'd like to do. I know that I kind of avoid getting my cholesterol checked. I know I should get it checked more, but it just scares me for some reason. And now I've proclaimed it to you, so I have to go get it checked. But if anyone wants to type in the chat box, exercise. Okay, great. Yes, exercise more. We could all be moving more. Yes, a walk every morning. Reduce sugar. That's a tough one. Yeah, these are all good ones. Wonderful. So we will talk about all of these things in our discussion today. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing, everyone. I really appreciate it. That's all the information I have for you. HARC has a lot of wonderful data. Feel free to visit our website. We have a really user-friendly data portal that you can access all of our data. And feel free to type any questions you have to me in the chat box or to the group, and I will turn it back over to Megan.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Lear. I just love HARC so much. Desert Oasis has worked with them for a very long time. The data that they bring about is so helpful to so many organizations. So if you're interested and it could benefit you at all, please, like Casey said, feel free to reach out to them at harcdata.org. There's very small steps that we can take to really make an improvement in our health and our numbers. So our hope is that today you'll take some of that knowledge and help to begin those small steps to really make an impact in your life. As Casey mentioned, there are some behaviors that impact our health that we can control, and that's things like tobacco use, healthy diet, and getting enough exercise. And in addition to smoking cessation classes for our members at Desert Oasis Healthcare, we also have many classes and programs that focus on mental health, nutrition, and fitness as well. Here to share some tips with us about increasing our physical activity is one of our family medicine physicians here at Desert Oasis, Dr. Jorge Capó. And he's couldn't join us live today because he's a perfect example of the importance of creating a work-life balance for yourself. And he is on a much needed vacation, but he wanted to take the time to create a video for us to share his healthy tips with us. So please take a look at this wonderful video by Dr. Jorge Capó.
Hi folks, I'm Dr. Capó. I'm a medical doctor and my specialty is family medicine. I'm here to talk about how to keep active during the summer. As you all know, the Coachella Valley has beautiful weather year-round, but we do have a few months where it's really hot and we have the dry desert climate. However, this doesn't mean that we need to stay indoors and become sedentary. Remember, the American Heart Association recommendation is a goal of 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week. What I'll do today is talk about how to protect yourself outdoors, what are some high-yielding exercises to do indoors, and easy ways to integrate exercise with daily life. First, how to protect yourself. We need to protect ourselves in this type of environment. The dress code for doing exercise outdoors needs the following. We need sunglasses. Sunglasses are vital and they help prevent cataracts. We need bright colored clothing. The bright colors help reflect the sunlight, and we have to make sure it wicks. Wicks means that the sweat goes through the clothing. So it should be something maybe like polyester, not really something like cotton. Also, running shoes are great. Why? Not necessarily because we need you to go run, but because they breathe well and they have great cushy soles, which makes it easier on you. What else do we need? Sunblock. We need to make sure we use sunblock, at least an SPF 15, but consider a higher SPF just to make sure that the sun blocking effect has a longer duration. Exercise early in the day, and definitely don't exercise around noon and the afternoon. Take breaks and always be on the lookout for shade. What I say is I go shade hunting when I go outdoors to run. Shade hunting because you're running and you're looking out for where is the next shade? Where is the next shade? Because it's a nice way to give you a break from direct sunlight. And if you have to stop, you know where to stop. Another thing we have to keep in mind is how much water do we actually need to drink? So a trick I use with my patients, so to keep that nugget of information in the head, is the following. I tell patients this, and don't laugh, okay? Most people have how many legs? 2, right? And with what letter does the word leg start with? L. What else starts with L? Liter. Since you have 2 legs, you need to consume 2 liters of water a day. That's the minimum for an adult. It's a pretty hot environment. You might need a little bit more. Consume water. Please make sure to consume water before, during, and after your exercise. Also, keep an eye out for heat exhaustion that can become heat stroke. If you start to feel that you're about to faint, stop. Stop, move to a cool place, loosen your clothing, and hydrate. Why? Because this can actually proceed to a heat stroke, where you actually start to suffer confusion and loss of consciousness. We have to watch out. There's been some folks that have passed away in our mountains around here. Now, what else would I like to do besides making sure that you're safe? Let's talk about some exercises we can do at home. Some home exercises that we can do without any type of hardware and are high yielding. Here we have the plank position. The plank position is a very high yielding exercise that targets your abdomen. It's really good. However, it also helps strengthen multiple other muscles. For example, in your back, your upper extremities, and your legs. The important part is to sustain the position the lady is presenting and keep your back flat. Jackknives. Jackknives is another really good exercise, really simple to do, and it targets your abdomen. What we need to do is that you keep your back flat on the floor and your upper and lower extremities, don't let them touch the floor. You bring them up, then you bring them back down. Again, try not to let your arms and your feet touch the floor. Another good exercise for cardio is high knees. It's just like jogging, but bringing your knees higher up. Really good exercise that also helps strengthen the legs. Push-ups. Push-ups, as we know, is a really good exercise also to strengthen your upper body, your chest and your arms. Jumping jacks. Jumping jacks is a really great cardio workout, mostly focused in your upper and lower extremities. Now, what are other ways that we can easily exercise our bodies? Simple stuff. For example, let's say you're at home and you want to talk with someone on the phone, use headphones. Use headphones so you can actually continue doing your chores and walking around the house. There's no need to sit for you to have a telephone conversation with someone. Another thing we can do to gather those minutes for the 30-minute countdown recommended by the American Heart Association is the following. Use the stairs. Don't go ahead and use the elevator. When you go to work or you go somewhere else, use the stairs. And also, when you go to the supermarket, also you go to work anywhere, park far away. Don't park near the door, okay? Also, consider doing exercise with a person or a pet because it can be a form of motivation. Finally, I'd like for you to take a moment and get a pen and a piece of paper. I want you to jot down something. Go to heart.org. Once you're there at heart.org, click on fitness. And after you click on that, click on getting active. Here, you're going to find many more ideas for exercises and complete workouts without the need of hardware. That's it from me, folks. Stay safe and active.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. My name is Kathy Prophet Allison. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I work for Desert Oasis and Behavioral Health. And I want to thank Dr. Capo for that great video. It made me want to get up and move during this. So if during this time you want to stand up, do it while I'm talking. All right. I'm here because I wanted to talk about the effects of your mental health that is also upon your heart, especially stress. And we have all been experiencing a difficult year and a half with the COVID, the enforced isolation, the pandemic itself. We've experienced, all of us, fear and adjustments that we have to make. Many of the usual stress relievers such as eating out, socializing with others, taking part in audiences for art, music, theater have been severely limited. I'd like you all to take a moment and think about your emotional heart and consider holding it and taking care of it, as well as your physical heart. An easy way to do that is to take a moment today and reflect on how you feel. Right now, how do you feel? If you feel joyous, share that joy with somebody. Shared joy is twice the joy. Spread some sunshine. If you spread sunshine, it cheers everybody else up and you. Great thing to do. If your heart is hurting right now, guard it. Guard it from stressors and from negative things, negative information. Consider turning off the television or the news, avoiding things, places, people that make you feel sad or unhappy or just bummed out. Avoid them and soothe your heart instead to do something to make yourself feel better. Examples of that would be helping others, giving time and energy. You can help other people by writing notes, doing an email, sending a card. How about doing a service, a small service, no matter how small, it fills your heart up. Remember the story of the Grinch? Your heart will grow when you help others, just like the Grinch's heart grew. If your heart feels empty, how about filling it up? Fill it up by connecting to other people, giving your time and service to others. If you feel nervous, weak, or faint in your heart, use it. How do you use your heart? By smiling. Make your heart smile. Watch a funny video or comedy or a movie. Watch something silly on YouTube. Cheerful communication with others. Experience joy. What about music? Putting on happy music, reading something uplifting, do something pleasant, do something silly. Play a little bit. Identify those rabbit holes that you tend to go down when you feel less than. Maybe when you feel sad or low or maybe ashamed or fearful. Identify when you start to go down those rabbit holes and stop yourself and soothe your heart. Take care of it. Invigorate your heart. Taking time and giving your heart treats. That would be like identify what makes you feel good and taking care of yourself. A good caveat is to take as good a care of yourself as you do of everybody else around you. Take the time, identify what you're feeling right now, and take good care of yourself and your heart. Now would be a great time for y'all to get on the chat room and put some suggestions or ideas on how you lift yourself up when you feel low. Taking a walk, getting moving, enjoying the beauties around us, nature. Put some ideas, and we are happy to look at any questions that you might have too as well. Let's all take a minute now. We're going to do a mindfulness exercise. So take a moment, please, and join us with our mindfulness exercise together.
Welcome to a moment of mindfulness. Tara Brach calls it the sacred pause. That is the moment when you recognize where you are and you bring a kind attention to it. This begins by feeling your feet on the ground, your hands in your lap, and the rise and fall of your breath. Perhaps you notice your breath coming in is a little cooler than the breath going out. Continue to breathe and notice your breath and where you feel it. As you do so, soften your brow, let your shoulder blades relax, feel your back completely letting go, your spine long. Thich Nhat Hanh's practice, breathing in, I have arrived, breathing out, I am home, is a profound way to bring a sense of well-being to every part of your life at any time. Breathing in, I have arrived, breathing out, I am home. May all beings see and be seen. May all beings touch a deep and lasting peace. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Tripp, and I'm a registered dietitian and the health education manager here at Desert Oasis. So earlier, Dr. Capot spoke on the importance of exercise, and Kathy talked about the role of mental well-being as it affects our health. And obviously, good nutrition, as we know, also plays an important piece of the puzzle. I think a lot of people are already aware of, what that might be in terms of a heart-healthy eating pattern. It's what I like to call a plant-forward, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, legumes like beans and lentils, also some healthy protein sources like tofu and salmon, healthy fats like avocado and olive oil and nuts, just to name a few. But since I think a lot of us are already somewhat familiar with that, I wanted to kind of circle back to what Dr. Lear was talking about earlier. And that's that a lot of us are eating meals away from home. And I think that's especially true in the summer. We've got road trips, we've got pool parties and weddings and barbecues. So how can we kind of keep the momentum going with that heart healthy diet when we're away doing some of these things? And I kind of want to give you guys some tips on that. So another thing is that if you're at home, you also might want to just limit turning on the oven and stove, because as we know, it's really hot here in this desert. So Dr. Capot mentioned the importance of staying hydrated. Again, really important here in the desert, but also anywhere else that you may be watching us from. And there's a lot of great ways to do that that doesn't necessarily involve beverages that have lots of added sugar. I recommend things like iced teas, and you can do black, green, or herbal teas and experiment with mixes on that. Sparkling water is another great one that I love to use at my house. Infused waters, homemade versions of lemonade or limeade are also great ones. And speaking of infused waters, you can actually add herbs like mint or basil, cut fruit, lemon lime wedges, or really any of these things to change up your beverages. So mixing and matching is a great idea. And Dr. Capot also mentioned the AHA website, and I want to say there that they also have wonderful recipes. So I encourage everyone to go there. And that includes drink recipes too. So if you want some extra inspiration, definitely check that out. If you're eating out, look for things like salads, maybe with some beans or grilled shrimp or fish or chicken breast and a vinegar and oil-based dressing. Another option I see almost anywhere, even at fast casual restaurants, is like a version of a grilled chicken breast sandwich. Maybe you can get a little barbecue sauce or honey mustard on the side to have with it. At other restaurants too, there's like summer specials, vegetarian specials that incorporate fresh local produce. Also, lots of places have, all kinds of excellent grilled options, grilled vegetables. And speaking of the grill and barbecues and summer pool parties, if you're going to one of those, you might offer to bring a healthy side dish, take some vegetables or even fruit to throw on the grill. I know two of my favorites are grilled peaches or grilled bananas. Highly recommend those if you've never tried them. Even something just as simple as cut up watermelon is always a summertime favorite that everyone loves. If you're trying to keep it simple at home, you can easily prepare a lot of the items I've mentioned already. You can even grill extra or cook some extra things in the slow cooker to enjoy later, maybe with a salad or on a salad or another cold side dish. So honestly, there's just tons of options. I encourage everyone to get creative. And again, if you're looking for more inspiration, I highly recommend the recipes page on the AHA website. They have seasonal recipe collections, have pages of options for the grill or the slow cooker. Again, beverage recipes, all kinds of great things. Also, if you want more help with taking steps toward your health, please give DOHC Health Education a call. We can help with smoking cessation, ideas for getting more active, stress management, good nutrition, and it's free to all of our members. We can be reached at 760-328-4499, extension 2805. And now to get us started, let's enjoy this video on preparing a simple vegetable snack, just to show you how easy it is.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm here today to introduce you to a quick and easy recipe just in time for summer, red and green bell pepper bites. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is prep our bell peppers. So we are going to cut these right down the middle and then take them and remove the seeds and the membrane from the stem side there. After that, just grab a spoon and give it just a final cleanup. Do that over a bowl. You can do it over your trash can, whatever works best. Just going to clean that up real nice. Awesome. All right. Next, we're going to cut this into some bite-sized pieces. We want to get about 6 per bell pepper, and I'm kind of feeling flags right now. So I'm going to cut them into triangles. So there we go. We've got our 6 bite-sized pieces, just like that. Wonderful. So we'll just get those, set those aside. Okay, next up is our cream cheese filling. I've got some almonds that I've been toasting on the stove over a low heat. They are raw, unsalted, sliced almonds, low heat. Don't go far. You just want to keep a close eye on them. Give them a stir every now and then. You're looking for a nice, rich, toasty, nutty flavor. I'm going to set aside a tablespoon of these almonds for a garnish later on. The rest we're going to grind up in the food processor. So we're just going to add those to the food processor. We're just going to pulverize them. We're just going to turn those into a nice ground powder. Okay, almonds are ready. Now it's time to build the rest of our filling. I've got 4 ounces of low-fat cream cheese. You could use fat-free cream cheese if you wanted. If you wanted to go the vegan route, you could even use a vegan cream cheese. That would be delicious. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of a salt-free lemon pepper blend and a teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So delicious, so bright. All right, we're going to grab our hand mixer and just give that a quick mix up. All right, that is coming together really nicely. Now we're going to add our ground toasted almonds. Perfect. Just another quick little blend. I can't tell you how good these toasted almonds smell. Okay, now it's time to build our bites. If you have a piping bag, you could definitely use one. I don't have a piping bag, so I'm going to go with a little bit of a trick. I'm going to use a quart-sized bag, and I'm going to put that into a stable container. I have a coffee mug here today. You could use a wide-mouth mason jar if you had one. Whatever you have, you're going to put your quart-sized bag into your stable container, grab all of your cream cheese mixture, gather that together in the bowl, and you're just going to scoop that into your bag. Isn't that easy? All right. As much of that as we can get in there. Perfect. Okay. Now, we're going to squeeze all the air out and work it into the corner. Okay. And then we're going to take our scissors and just trim off the edge of the quart-sized bag. Now, we can hold the bag in one hand, and we can hold our little triangles in the other hand. We're going to pipe about a teaspoon of the cream cheese mixture onto each bite. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. That's so beautiful. And then we're just going to put them here on this lovely little tray. Gorgeous. Doesn't that just look delicious? So festive. Wish there was such a thing as a blue bell pepper. I could do a red, white, and blue bell pepper. Wouldn't that be delicious? All right, we're going to fill all of those up. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to garnish with those toasted almond slices that we had saved earlier. We're just going to add a couple of those on the top of each one. So delicious. Such a nice extra layer of flavor. Now, if you were not trying to be vegetarian or vegan, some crumbled bacon would be delicious on this. Okay. We are done with our bell pepper bites. How was that? That was so quick and so easy. Just a few minutes and you've got a very beautiful bell pepper bites. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit different, you could definitely take your cream cheese mixture and you could fill half of a bell pepper with your cream cheese mixture, put that out on a board with some beautiful, colorful, refreshing vegetables. Doesn't that look delicious? So there you have it. Red and green bell pepper bites You can find this recipe and plenty of other heart-healthy recipes at heart.org. I'm Kelly. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. Cheers.
Hi, everyone. I love that recipe. I love how light and refreshing it is during this time of year. And I love that you don't really have to cook. It's so easy, which is right up my alley. Anyway, I'm Danielle Grout. I'm with the American Heart Association. I've loved chatting with some of you in the chat box today. I miss seeing so many of you, so many familiar names. I miss your faces. I can't wait till we can see each other in person sometime. But in the meantime, I'm so glad we can get together on events and days like this. I just wanted to come on and close us out and really say thank you again to all of our presenters today. Such great information. I know we hear this information a lot on these webinars and it's stuff we all know, but I don't know about you guys, we don't always practice it right. So I love the message here that, you know, even just making those small steps, we're not asking you guys to log off today and stop smoking and change how you eat and start running a mile a day, but grab something, you know, meditate for a few minutes a day, start eating healthier, take some of this advice to heart truly, because we want you guys to all live long, healthy lives. So please give it up again for all of our speakers. I know we're all applauding them at home via Zoom, but give them some love in the chat box. Thank them for spending the time to really bring their expertise to these subjects today. And again, I hope that you'll all just take something back and keep it going. I know we're in the middle of this Wellable Challenge, which I am delighted to be part of as well. And I love checking that. I love being among all of you guys as we're bettering our heart health. We've got about 5 weeks left. Like Megan said, if you haven't signed up, it's not too late. And I want to remind you that even when this 10 weeks is over, you know, we have 5 weeks to go, keep that going. You know, we may not be on the Wellable app together anymore, but always be thinking of your heart health, even when it's not Wellable or Heart Walk. I saw Ryan mention he misses the Heart Walk. We are going to have the Heart Walk again this year. It's coming up on November 20th. We'll be getting some information out soon about that. And of course, with the state of the world, some things have changed of how it's going to be looking this year, but we want you guys participating in that. And that's another great opportunity to continue your health journey by getting that Healthy for Good message that we provide through Heart Walk. It's more than coming out and doing the walk that one day of the year, but it kind of is like these webinars where we keep the conversation going and keep you thinking about your heart health. So want to real quick thank Desert Oasis Healthcare again. Megan mentioned, you know, this local Life is Why sponsorship that we've been working on for the last 3 years. We're going into year 4. Well, we're about halfway through year 4 now. And it's just so great to collaborate and come together on days like this for our DOHC members, employees, employer groups, and the community at large. So thank you, Desert Oasis Healthcare, for your continued support of making our community healthier. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe out there. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.